Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fast Forward Guest Series Edition 25. I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Sachin S Bhat. He is the founder of Alar Innovations. Dr. Sachin S Bhat is an accomplished researcher and innovator with over a decade of experience spanning deep learning, NLP, document analysis, and remote sensing, combined with expertise in history, linguistics, and Indology. He has authored 70 plus research papers, earning 14 Best Paper Awards, and has been recognized with awards like Grassroot Innovation 2024 and the International Distinguished Young Researcher Award 2020. Dr. Bhatt is founder and MD of Alar Innovations and Dean of Research at SMVITM. He is passionate about AI driven solutions, regional language research, and mentoring future technologies. We welcome Dr. Sachin S Bhat to the session. Over to you, sir.
The title of today's talk is Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. Can data lead to intelligence? So I'll start the presentation with a small story. There is a famous historical game called as Go, which is originated in China, similar to our chess. Chess is a game of 8 into 8 squares, but Go is of 19 into 19 squares. So total of 361 squares. So there will be two colored pieces, white and black. So every year China hosts the World Tournament of Go, in which around 75 countries participate. In 2017, in the finals of this Go tournament, there was Lee Sedol, who was the world champion of Go from Korea. So Go is 2 into 10 to the power of 171 times complex compared to chess. So the organizers thought that computer will not be able to play these type of games. But in the final tournament of Go, the DeepMind computer program defeated Lee Sedol in 4:1 rounds. So DeepMind won the tournament with 4 scores. The organizers and the viewers, they were astonished. How can a computer program defeat a world champion in this tournament? So in 2018 also there was in the finals of Go tournament, there was China's KG, who was the world champion of Go for a long time. Even the AlphaMind defeated the world champion in a score of 3:0. So it might be the first time where the world came to know what artificial intelligence can do in the coming future. The next years, the Google released AlphaMind 2.0, which defeated AlphaGo in consecutive 100 games. So now what artificial intelligence is doing with our day-to-day lives? So AI algorithms today, they are deciding which route we take. So if you move somewhere in Bangalore or Delhi with the help of Google Maps, it will show you what is the shortest path, where there will be traffic congestion, what are the alternative routes you need to take. So you see, it is deciding how much we pay for products or tickets. So if you open apps like Uber, Ola, or if you try to book the aeroplane tickets, the surge pricing policy with the help of AI will decide whether the price of certain route will go up or not. Similarly, if you book a cab in Uber, these days it is matching brides and grooms in matrimonial sites based on your interest, your past, or based on your occupation. It's also diagnosing patients, helps in the healthcare system from a long time, like cancer detection, so deciding whether there is a tumor or not, etc. etc. It is answering questions in the form of chat GPT or different types of large language models. It is acting as e-teachers. So you might have seen plenty of courses offered by artificial intelligence. There will be an avatar which is teaching you, which is answering your questions, and it is giving knowledge of certain subjects. In Ramayana or the Greek mythologies, Egyptian mythologies, Daedalus, Hephaestus, Organus, etc., etc. Our ancestors from long time, maybe from thousands of years, they knew or they thought about the models or the robots which can mimic the human behavior. The knowledge about artificial intelligence to the human race was there from thousands of years. For example, the Pushpaka Vimana of Ramayana the Simhasana Dvatrimshat, the talking dolls, or even if you see the mythology of Egypt or Greek, some stories of Homer's Iliad, Daedalus, Hephaestus, etc., which had given the glimpse of talking robots or autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, etc., etc. But the term artificial intelligence was first coined by the scientist John McCarthy in the year of 1956 in the form of Dartmouth Conference. Later, which led to there were more than 10 different scientists, so like John McCarthy, there was Claude Shannon, etc., who officially launched the terminology and also the part of computer science systems or the stream, which is called as artificial intelligence, which was opposite to the natural intelligence what the human is having. Then later in 1957 led to the which will be processed by the neurons and it will be passed to the human brain, which will allow us to think or identify things, right? So this perceptron is a mechanical system which is mimicking these neurons. Then came the Adaline, which was the optimizer, from where the golden age or spring of artificial intelligence started. In next 15 or 20 years, there were games, there were computer programs which were playing checkers. There was huge buzz on machine translation, autonomous vehicles, etc., etc. But they could not take place for next 10 or 15 years, which led to the crash of AI market. There were two problems which led to the crash. One was XOR problem, which is a very famous classification problem, and also one more was Lighthill's essay, which criticized the then artificial intelligence. So then the AI research stopped for almost 20-25 years. In 1990s, because of the development of multi-layered perceptron, the backpropagation model, where the perceptrons improve their accuracy because of the self-correction. Also because of the development of different algorithms like support vector machines, which are famously known as SVM. 1991, 1997, IBM's Watson defeated Gary Kasparov in a chess tournament, which has led to the evolution of the AI market, which we are seeing now. And after 2010, the AI till there, it was termed as a machine learning. So if you can go to the next slide, which led to the development of the today's AI, what we call as a deep learning. So what is the difference between this artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning? Most of you might be aware if a computer program, if it can mimic the human behavior, it is termed as artificial intelligence. So it can sense, it can reason, it can act, or it can adopt. It may be a computer program or a hardware or a machine or a robot. Whereas the machine learning, it's a subset of artificial intelligence. It is an algorithm whose efficiency increases with experience. It is like a small kid. When we were kids, we were not knowing how to write ABCD. So our parents or teacher, they used to write ABCD on a paper. So we used to write on top of it and we used to improve our accuracy of writing the letters or to learn some new phrases, new language or new concept. The machine learning algorithms are also works in the same fashion. So they will increase their efficiency with the experience what they have. There are different of machine learning algorithms like naive-based classifiers. There are k nearest neighbor algorithms. There are decision trees. There are support vector machines. There are k-means classifiers. There are dimensionality reductions like principal component analysis, etc., etc., which had ruled the improved. And also because of the online availability of different data sets, there is a huge availability of data. So because of these two reasons, the deep learning algorithms started taking prominence. So for example, multi-layered neural networks, the famous convolutional neural network models or CNNs, there is RNN, recurrent neural network model, which is used for time series data. What the chat GPT you are seeing today, it's a form of GPT. GPT is again evolved from Transformer. Transformer was first proposed in 2017. attention is what all you need. It was the research paper, very famous research paper. You can go through it. It's available. And one of the author was an Indian by the name of Patel. The transformers were evolved from one more deep learning algorithm called as a recurrent neural networks, RNNs. RNN has a different version or an advanced version called as LSTM, long short term memory. So these are all different types of deep learning algorithms which we are using for different types of tasks. So the next slide. I will take up two small case studies which we had undertaken in the recent past. So this is about power conservation via AI. So we have developed a small IoT device which if inserted with the energy meter, it will calculate what is the real time consumption of energy in your house. So it's a small IoT device, it will be fixed with the energy meter, it will record. So what is the energy consumed or what is the power consumed in your house in a real time basis, which will send the information to a cloud in the form of time series graph. If you can see this graph, you can see it's a 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., 12 midnight to 12 midnight to 24 hours graph. So if you can see it, the energy consumption of my house, it was an example of my house, usually starts morning at 5 o'clock. People get up, they start day-to-day activities like preparing breakfast, the fans, lights, ovens, mixers, they are on. So the activities will be carried till maybe 10, 9 or 10 till the people leave to office. Again in the lunch time there will be activities. Again the power consumption goes down and around 6 or 7 o'clock the power consumption spikes again because TVs, fans, lights, kitchen items, they are turned on. And everyone sleeps around 10:30 or 11. Again the power consumption goes low. So what we did is the next slide. So we know how much energy a particular fan consumes, how much energy the light bulb consumes, or how much energy the chargers, printers, Wi-Fi routers, mixers, grinders, or the fridges are consuming. So what we did is we used the help of artificial intelligence. You can see we have used different types of algorithms like naive Bayes, multi-layered perceptrons, logistic regression models, and support vector machines with edge analysis. Support vector machine in this case had given around 75% of accuracy, which is telling at what time of the day in your house which particular device is turned on and how much of energy it is consuming. The next case study, please, the next slide, please. There's something called as GTD, Global Terrorism Data Set, which has recorded events of more than 180,000 terrorist activities across the globe. There are more than 140 attributes in the sense the parameters which is defining or describing the events. So in this data set, Indian events are more than 7,500 terrorist activities, maybe the bomb blasts or some other type of Naxal activities, etc., etc. If you can go to the next slide. So what we did is using AI, we fetched the data set to the AI model. So it could tell in the last 30 years where these activities have happened. If you can see, all the activities are color coded here. The color codes are for different types of organizations. If you can see the red dots, these are the activities happened because of Naxal attacks. So which are mainly concentrated in the West Bengal, Chhattisgarh or eastern part of India. If you can see blue color, it's mainly because of the Khalistani terrorist activities. The green colored one is LTTE or Lashkar-e-Toiba, which is majoritarily happened in and around Kashmir. And also if you can see black color coded activities, they are majorly due to some of the organizations like ULFA in the northeast. If you can move to the next slide. So what we did is we segregated this based on different years. The next slide, please. These are the activities since 2020. You can see at a particular year how many terrorist activities have happened, where it had happened, who was responsible for this, what are the different parameters involved in this. The next slide from 2015. you can see how the activity chart changes in terms of terrorist activities. The next slide from 2010, you can see the difference in the color coding. Next slide from 2020, and also the next slide of 1990. So what we did is, the next slide, we used 3 or 4 different types of algorithms. We used decision tree. We fetched the data set to the AI algorithms. The next slide. Organization did it. What are their patterns? So whether it's a bomb blast or some other type of terrorist activity, what are the different components involved in this? So using the AI model, we can tell with 80% accuracy in the future, if something happens, what are the background scenarios of the activities. So next one. I'll now briefly go through what are the different applications of AI in the field of life science. As I was told that majority of the audience for this talk are from life science background, students as well as graduates. If I consider AI for life science as a big tree, the AI can be applied in the area of zoology, maybe botany, to microbiology. It can be applied even for molecular biology, cellular biology, genetics, environmental science, ecology, biomaterials, pharmacology, neuroscience, or psychology. These are the different branches of this tree. So what these different domains of life science generate? They generate data. So data, without data, there is no AI model. So what is important for AI? 2 things. One is the algorithm, and more importantly, the data. The better the data, the better outcome of the algorithm will be. All these different branches, they generate data. They will be fetched, it will be fetched to the artificial intelligence algorithms. So data is like a water or rain for this AI, which will absorb the data. It will get trained on the model, which will give the better accuracy for all these branches. I have taken only 2 or 3 different applications of AI in the coming slides. The next one, next slide, artificial intelligence for zoology. So if there are any students who are from the zoology background, they might be knowing where we use AI in the field of zoology. It may be for the species identification and classification. So if I fetch the image to the IA algorithm, it can tell what particular species of animal or bird this image is. There is a famous app called as Merlin. You can download it from Play Store. It will recognize, if you keep the app on, it will recognize the voice of bird. Only by listening, it will tell what bird it is. So it will help you to identify the type of bird in your locality based on the voice of the birds. There is a snapshot Serengeti data set which has images, collection of images of 48 different animal species. There are around 32 lakh images. CNN model was used to recognize as well as to classify the species of the images, where the CNN has recorded more than 90% of accuracy. For different types of clinical trials, where this algorithm is going to tell what the behavior, how the behavior of mouse will be for different environmental conditions as well as medical conditions. So in behavioral analysis, you can tell the behavior or recognize the behavior of animal based on animal, or also based on the wearable devices, whether the animals, your dog is walking, whether it is sitting, what it is doing, whether it is anxious, etc., etc. So it's also used in the evolution and ecology for genetic variation analysis to predict the ecological patterns. So recently, the zebra lion predation study, which was done based on nested path models, was famously or successfully implemented in Kenya. So what is the path of zebra in the forest? How the zebras move inside the forest, or how the lions will move inside the forest. It was a famous model recently installed in Africa. Also, it's used in animal resource utilization. For example, in poultry, identify the pig faces. Even in semen analysis, the detection of different types of diseases. In one of the recent study, sound analysis was done to detect the cough in pigs, whether any disease is spreading. Even thermal imagings are used in poultries to predict the disease within 24 hours of its spreading to different animals in the poultries. Artificial intelligence in plant science. So there is an app called as a Flower Mate, which identifies more than 20,000 different plant species. The convolutional neural network, or the famous CNN model, was used here to identify the plant species. There is a AI toolkit for plant phenotyping also called as Plant CV, which was famously inspired by a very popular Python library called as OpenCV. There is a Crop GPT. It's an AI platform which integrates the crop data for decision making. So whether it will take the rainfall data, crop data, predicting the crops, crop yields, or crop prices, hedges, etc., etc. The AI plus IoTs are nowadays gaining very popularity in the field of precision agriculture. The next slide, please. AI in microbiology. One of my PhD student, she is working how AI can be used in the field of microbiology. So we grow bacteria in lab environment on an agar plate. You know this, right? Life science students. You grow bacteria in
Yes, sir.
hours exponentially, then bacteria starts decaying. So every hour. So what is the spread of bacteria? So how many bacterial colonies are growing and what are the sizes? In a particular bacterial colony, how many bacteria are present? It was the work of one of my current PhD student. There is a famous model called as DVICE, DVICE. It's a CNN-based model, viral infectivity disease detection model. So it will identify whether the viral infections are spreading in the atmosphere or not. So AI is also used in rapid and precise pathogen detections in foods or in waters. They are used to discover new functions of microorganisms, as I had given an example, to detect the spread of a disease, to accelerate the vaccine developments, to predict the viral mutations based on the images, microscopic images. There is a AI model called as GoFast, GOPHAST. It's an ML model for antibiotic susceptibility testing. So like this, AI is widely used in the field of microbiology as well. The next slide. AI for cellular biology. AI is used to understand the different plant architectures. So based on the images, how a plant or your farm is growing, whether there are any disease infected to the plants. So how the development of plant will be. So image-based analysis of gametogenesis, like these sperms and eggs. So predictive models for embryonic development. So even in the field of cellular biology also, different types of AI models are being used to track for the dynamic process quantization, for gene regulatory networks, and also for the structure prediction of different types of genes or DNAs. Next one, AI for psychology. I think even some of you might have studied psychology as a part of your curriculum. We are using psychology in neuroscience to diagnose the mental disorders, for the emotion recognition and classification. Recently, we have built AI Experience Center for Dubai University, where based on the video, the one of the applications was based on the video, the AI model will tell the emotion of the students who are there in the center for the study purpose. So whether their mood is sad or happy, whether they are happy, to track their activities, etc., etc. It's also used in therapeutic simulating of neural networks. So recently we are developing one project with the help of Kasturba Medical College, Manipal. Please go to the next slide. More than 2 crore individuals who have different types of mental illness who need immediate attention in India. More than 1 crore people are relying on antidepressant pills, which are having different types of side effects. For this, the therapeutic effects of transcranial electrical stimulation is being researched from last 10 or 15 years. The transcranial electrical stimulation has four different types like TDCS, TACS, TRNS, and TPCS, where TDCS, transcranial direct current stimulation, is a very famous and popular one, gaining a lot of attention these days worldwide. This therapy is used to treat more than 10 different mental health conditions, starting from depression, the post stroke care, or schizophrenia, migraine, OCD, pain, etc. etc. So what we did is we have developed AI and the next slide number 23. So we recently developed AI and IoT based headband, which is used to stimulate the brain neurons as a part of depression treatment. So there are different neuron centers in the head, like cofrontal cortex for depression treatment, thalamus for some other type of mental illness treatments. So particular neuron centers, if they are activated, they will be activated with the help of this device, which will help to reduce the illness of that particular disorder. So we have recently developed one small handheld device which is used to treat these type of mental health disorders, where the device and the related app will keep track of your moods, the depression rates, DSM-5, based on DSM-5 parameters, whether you are taking the treatment properly or not, and related areas. And it's also going to predict so how many number of sittings you need to take in future. For example, if it is for depression, you have to undergo the treatment for 4 to 6 weeks. That again depends based on the level of depression and also based on different types of medical conditions. So how much treatment was effective, how much treatment is pending, etc. etc. The next slide, please. So I'll come to the second part of the presentation. So far you have seen what is the application of AI in different types of fields. Now I'll come to what do you mean by intelligence. Can someone please try, if I am audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes. Can one student please try to answer the question? What do you mean by intelligence? If I tell you are intelligent, what is the meaning of that?
The IQ level of individual people.
IQ. Okay, IQ is something which comes in the later stages. So intelligence is an ability
IQ
to
means
think.
everything, sir.
Ability to think.
Very good, very good. Thanks to both of you. So it's the ability to think. What do you mean by intelligence? It's the ability to think as well as act accordingly. I can think by myself. I can do the things. I can judge. I can work, right? That's why humans are called as intelligent, because they can think and they can act. They can communicate based on their thinkings, etc., etc. So the intelligence what the humans are having, it is natural intelligence. The intelligence which is built to the maybe the hardware, software, or machines, it's called as artificial intelligence. We are artificially inducing the intelligence into the machines. So AI in the last 60 or 70 years is all about making the machines to do things at which humans are better at doing today, like doing a task of physical things or thinking, identifying, playing chess, taking decisions, etc. etc. In this, there was a famous research paper of Alan Turing. You might have heard the name of Alan Turing, the famous scientist. You might have, some few of you might have also seen a movie called as Imitation Game. How Alan Turing helped to break the Enigma machines of Germany during the Second World War. He had written a research paper on the computing machinery and intelligence. He starts with a sentence, can machines think? It was way back in 1950s, maybe around 75 years ago. He had even predicted at that time, in the futures, can the machines will be able to think or not? He says, if the behavior of a machine is indistinguishable, we cannot distinguish what is machine and what is human being, indistinguishable from that of a human being, then we must accept that the machines can think, which has famously led to the foundations of Turing test. You will be knowing what the Turing test is. Turing test, there will be two contestants. One is a computer program, AI program. Here it is B in the given image, A, and B is a human being. Both will be sitting in remote places and there will be a judge, C. The judge will communicate with both the contestants, a computer program A and a human being B. After communication through text messages, if the judge cannot differentiate between these two contestants, who is a computer program, who is a real human being, then the organizers will announce that computer program had won. The AI originated to make computing machines more smarter. We are seeing smarter cars, smarter machines, smarter computers, smarter mobiles. So giving them human-like intelligent abilities. The next slide, please. So machines are becoming more and more like humans, which are having the posing the human-like abilities like to think, to act, to communicate, to talk, to generate speech, rights, etc., etc., and enabling them to learn. That's why the concept of machine learning involved or evolved. So you learn certain things with respect to your learning. The output what you give or the efficiency of your algorithm will increase. So earlier days, the next slide please. Earlier days, in our court of kings, like there was Birbal in the court of Akbar, there was Tenali Rama in the court of Krishna Deva Raya. There will be scholars, right? So they used to answer all the questions. So if anyone has certain problems, anyone has some questions, the next slide please. Anyone has some questions, they used to ask the scholar in the olden days, who is going to solve the problems or giving the answer. But nowadays, these scholars are being replaced by the computers. So if you ask Google anything, it will answer, right? So now the ChatGPT has taken the place of Google. Earlier, we used to search in Google for certain information. Now we ask the co-pilots or ChatGPTs or Perplexity or similar type of large language models. The next slide, please. So this is a very important or a very big step in the ongoing journey to enhance the capability of the computing machines. The machines are becoming more smarter and smarter in every passing day. ChatGPT is releasing every new version of it in a couple of months. So to make them smarter and more efficient in solving problems of importance to us humans. So clearly there is a lot of potential in the new AI, which is equipped with deep learnings and machine learnings in further easing our lives. So why AI is being developed? It is to ease our lives. So to make the work of human more simpler. So reduce our dependence on unreliable and expensive human resources. What humans used to perform 10 years, 10 people used to perform a task. Now one bulldozer or one machine used to do the same task in half an hour or 1 hour for carrying out mundane tasks in the optimal ways, better than the human being. The next slide, please. So then what is the meaning of intelligence? Is it something beyond data processing? So skepticism on whether machines can in fact be made intelligent is rarely to be seen today. That's why we call the current generation of AI as shallow AI. While no AI machine has thus far completely won the Turing test, the very basic idea of AI itself is challenged. There's one famous, the next slide please. There will be a person sitting inside a room who has access to all the books. You can see the image here. The room has only one small outlet or the one small hole where a person sitting outside, he is a Chinese, he has some question, he writes the question on a piece of paper in Chinese or in Mandarin, he throws the paper inside the room. The person sitting inside has access to all the books on earth. He has a very big data set, but he can't understand Mandarin or Chinese. So what he will do, he can't read the Chinese, what the question, what is being asked. What he does is, he will take the help of dictionary or translating books. He will translate the question from Chinese to English. Then he will go through all the books. He know what concept is there in which book. So he will check the book. He will open the book. He will write the answer. He will again translate that back to the Chinese language. He throws the piece of paper or the answer script outside the room. Now the person who had asked the question is very happy because he thinks that the person sitting inside is a very knowledgeable, very scholarly person because he had answered the question given by the person who is sitting outside. For example, X, right? Now the X is very happy, thinking that the person sitting inside the room knows everything. Whatever question I ask in whatever language, he is able to solve it. But is it the real scenario? This is not the real scenario. The person sitting inside cannot understand anything, but he was able to answer the question only because of large excess of database or the knowledge system what he is having inside the room. He can go through different data sets, he has dictionaries, he has books, he can answer any question which is being asked, but he himself is not having any idea about the topics, right? So this is how the current artificial intelligence is working. The next slide, please. There is a Lebner Prize which was announced for the competition of a Turing test. Whichever artificial learning model wins the Turing test, so Lebner Prize is awarded. This is a few million or billion dollars. So far, only few machine learning models were able to come close to the human intelligence. For example, there was Mistuku, which was developed by Japanese scientists. So far, there was no machine learning or AI model which could exactly mimic the behavior of human which had passed this test. The next slide, please. But what has changed in the recent past? So Google is processing more than 24 petabytes of data every day. Facebook has more than 10 millions of photos uploaded every hour, as you can see in the next slide, from satellite in the form of remote sensing. So by 2024, the digital universe, the Google or the digital universe had reached around 50 zettabytes. Next slide, please, 10 raised to 24. So more and more computing ability to crunch all the data are available in the form of GPUs. And lots of new pattern recognition algorithms. Literally hundreds of new algorithms have been developed every year to crunch the data and to give the insight. So even there are meta algorithms such as ensembling classifiers which are employed effectively to attack different types of problem statements. Next slide, please. I'll take just 2 more minutes. Okay, next slide, please. So, unlike chesses and quizzes, where it has in fact done very well against humans a long back, machines don't yet understand natural languages. So, computer can only understand zeros and ones. They can't yet replace your household maid or a medical nurse or your relatives, maybe your sister, mother, or spouse, or they cannot grow food for us. Yes, they are assisting human experts in many significant ways and they are beginning to operate other machines as driving cars, operating aeroplanes, etc. etc. In fact, whether AI has already even crashed two aeroplanes, as I have already told, there is a speculation and debate in the current past what can be the future of AI or what can be the effect of AI on the human race. In the last slide. During these exciting times in the second wave of development of machine intelligence, let us not be too eager to celebrate the success of AI. Let the AI first demonstrate a lot more of human-like decision-making capabilities. Yes, sir, that ends the presentation. The scientists study the world as it is, whereas engineers create the world that never has been. Thank you for giving the opportunity to interact with the fellow life sciences students and AI enthusiasts. Thank you. I'm open for question and answers.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
We are happy to know all about few things like a treatment, what are the apps are there. Even I was like surprised to see these therapies for the psychological disorders. Actually, I'm a physician assistant, sir. I'm working in neurosurgery department. I've been
Okay.
having 15 years experience. I have trained in Manipal Hospital, Bangalore, HAL Road. So, like a neurosurgical part, what we can expect, sir? The best thing, surgery part, not this diseases part.
There are experiments going on using of robots in surgeries and all.
Okay.
I am more into psychiatric AI applications in psychiatry. I am not directly involved in the neurosurgery department.
Okay, sir.
So, but there are some reports of robots doing surgeries and sitting in a remote location because of this 5G and 6G networks with the same human efficiency.
Okay, sir.
Yes, but they are predominantly used to predict the diseases, maybe the brain tumors, cysts, etc.
Okay, sir.
They have been used from a long time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, sir. Thanks for the wonderful lecture. So, my question is I do not have any technical background in computer sciences. You have discussed a lot about support vector machines and naive Bayes models and all those models, which I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
Now, if I want to start my career in life sciences with AI, do I need to learn all those from scratch, or is there something that is already done, like using ChatGPT and then getting into it?
There are two things. One is either you go, machine learning is all about mathematics. So whatever we use in AI and machine learning, deep learning, everything it's a mathematics. So either you can learn machine learning or AI in general, you can learn the maths behind it, or you can use there are toolkits are already available, like OpenCV is there. For Python, different types of libraries are there. If you want to gain hands-on experience, or Keras is there. There is now CNN models, different types of ML and DL models are available. TensorFlow is there. So you can use those types of libraries, and you can learn how to operate libraries through maybe through ChatGPT or maybe some sort of websites. So you can learn to operate them. So you can start from that way instead of going for the mathematics behind the machine learning algorithms. So I feel math part might be a bit difficult for you, for people from biology background, but you can start using the toolkits. Nowadays it's all importing the libraries and running in Coursera and also in YouTube. Okay, there is one question in the chat box by Yogesh. What are the limitations of artificial intelligence? One simple limitation of artificial intelligence is data. So without data, there is no AI. So to train the AI model, there should be sufficient data. Only if you provide sufficient data to the AI model, then only it can predict properly. And second limitation is the computational power which is used to train the models. So why we could not build something like ChatGPT is because ChatGPT is built on, it's actually trained on 400 RTX 4098 GPUs for 2 months. 83 terabytes of data is trained on hundreds of GPUs for months together. So there is no infrastructure currently available with us to experiment with AI in large scale. So there are two limitations what I can point primarily in the development of AI. Yes, any other questions? Maths part in machine learning is too tough. As I already said, machine learning is all about maths. So you cannot avoid it. If you want a simple solution, go for ready-made tools or packages which are available with Python and all. If you are good in coding, poor in maths, you can take that route. What are the upcoming treatment for psychiatry condition patients with AI? Psychiatry, there is one drawback of AI. Psychiatry, more of artificial intelligence, it is the human touch which makes a sense. Though there are different ML models which are used to diagnose and analyze the patients. But when it comes to treatment, it's always the human part which takes the center stage, not some machine or software. What about AI in dentistry? Again, this project we have done a long back. It was a brush-like device where it takes the photo when you open the mouth, insert the device in your mouth, it takes the photo. Using AI, it recreates your teeth. I hope you understood, in a 3D modeling, which will be helped to build the artificial teeth. So AI comes into picture basically where there are images and data where you can identify something. Sir, in order to reduce the human work, AI is developed, but don't you think during these days, average human abilities to think has been reducing or declined? Like we used to remember many phone numbers earlier, but not now we hardly remember our own number. Yes, exactly. My question is, what is the impact of AI on human memory? I recently had gone through one study of some US based university. I was in Alabama University for some time. It might be some Oxford or some other university, which has done a clinical research analysis on what is the AI, what's the effect of ChatGPT usage on brain, how ChatGPT is reducing our thinking capability. This we are observing from last few years. Even students, they don't think by themselves. If you give some assignment, they simply copy paste from ChatGPT. But when it comes to humans, the speaking, reading, and writing, they are universal skills. So we should not lose them over time only because there is some machine which is there to assist you. AI, how it works in medical reviews and writing, AI is already assisting. Actually, I recently used ChatGPT to understand the clinical condition of one patient based on the MRI images, and surprisingly, ChatGPT has predicted with a very good accuracy. But the issue with these type of AI models is, for example, ChatGPT, it's a predictive model. So it's based on it's a probabilistic model. It will tell the probability, like if something is 51% correct, it will assume it as correct. And the ChatGPT never tells that it don't know anything, right? So medical reviews and writings, GPTs or AI is being used from some time, but as it's a probabilistic model, we cannot 100% rely on these type of tools. If that answers your question. Anyone else? A few days back, I saw an app for gender predictions. Gender prediction is banned in India, and how much is it reliable? Actually, there are two things. One is medical device. So most of the apps or the variables what you use, even your Samsung or Apple watch will predict your heart rate or something, heart disease, etc., etc. They're simply the variables. They're not the medical devices. If it has to be a medical device or a medical software, it has to pass the clinical trial, it has to obtain the ISO certifications. Apps and hardwares are being available. For example, the variables what you use to predict the heart rate, etc., etc. So there are two things. One are variables and one more are medical devices. So all this is software, hardware. They are, if they come under medical device, they have to pass a certain test and obtain few certifications like CDSOs, ISOs, ethical clearance, etc., etc. If any software or a hardware is not having those certifications, not officially recognized, such type of things, maybe the apps or maybe something else, they are not reliable. Okay. To answer the question, hello.
Yeah, sir. But the apps which are produced or which are for used for those predictions, they must be they must be trained on the datas which are provided, which are used for software.
Right. I understood, but they are trained on certain set of data. But what I'm telling, they are not reliable. They have, in the sense, so there are two things. Either you want to predict whether the gender of is boy or girl. Even if the accuracy of that AI algorithm is 51%, it will tell whether it's a boy or girl. 51 is also 100%. 90 is also 100%. So you can train any data and you can get the output in AI. But what I'm trying to tell is it is not reliable unless it is certified.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, AI in agriculture, again we are using in precision agriculture. I think in India it is AI in agriculture is application is bit less because farmers are deceived in many ways. Like 30 years back, farmers are sold machines telling that it will double your yield. Then 20 years back, farmers are sold with fertilizers telling it will double your yield. Now different agencies are trying to sell AI to farmers telling that it will double your yield. So nothing substantial has been achieved in this field, but there are different models which are being available for agriculture and other fields. AI, how it is useful for pharmacy, AI in medical coding. Okay, if sir, if anyone is interested, they can interact with me through mail.
Yes, I'll share the mail ID with students. So if they have any other questions, they can directly get in touch with you. So, on behalf of everyone here, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to you for sharing such valuable insights with us today. Your talk has been truly enlightening and has given us a lot of knowledge to reflect upon. We deeply appreciate the time and effort you took to be with us, sir. Thank you so much, sir.